They played great in game one, but they didn't win. Bobrovsky was Ooh, sorry. That's okay. Sorry.
How can you not love this man? And he's not wrong. In game one of this cup final, we saw an Oilers team get their fair share of quality chances, but they got Bobrovski'd. Despite being outshot, the Panthers wound up taking it, and so tonight, new strategy. If you don't want to get goalied, don't shoot the puck. No, but it did feel like a must-win game for the Oilers. Teams that take the first two win it all 91% of the time. So, needless to say, the Oilers needed this one. And this game had a bit of everything. But what it definitely had was plenty of physicality and downright greasy hockey, as is this hockey or MMA? We had knees on knees, a nut shot, Draisaitl jumping up into Barkov and catching him high as we had players seemingly leaving the ice in droves, and of course we also got some controversy, which we'll see what the rulebook says about this one, because ironically, while not called a penalty, boy did we get a lot of penalties. But with plenty to cover, let's get into it. Now, what should have given the Oilers some confidence were the stats around how Skinner has responded in the past. He's bounced back well, and sure enough, early on, not only did he not let in the first shot, he was the busier goalie and stood tall. In the first period especially, we had bodies flying all over the place, and as such, we began to see the penalties stack up. The first came early on, a stupid penalty from Bennett called for tripping, which put the Oilers power play unit on the ice. Problem is, Florida's penalty kill is no joke. Strong stuff from Ekblad, as not only did Florida kill it off convincingly, the Oilers found themselves over 8 minutes into this game without a single shot on net. But that then gets us to this. Fogel and Luostarinen coming together as Luostarinen stayed down, and taking a closer look, it's a knee on knee, a tough one. Luostarinen went down the tunnel temporarily, as this was called a 5-minute major. Now, they reviewed it very quickly and they upheld it with a game misconduct. A bit harsh in my opinion, but it was the Panthers now with a huge opportunity. And yet, a minute and a half in, and guess what? Another penalty. This time it's Janmark down with Ekman-Larsson called for a knee on knee. So with a little 4-on-4, we got a 2-on-1. Ekholm shot and he scores. Matthias Ekholm beating Bobrovsky with their first shot of the game. It's 5-hole, the first of these playoffs against Bob, as is this man human after all? Edmonton in a good position early, and while the Panthers would come right back, Bouchard with an open net ringing one off the bar, this game remained a 1-goal game as the Oilers' penalty kill held them to just 1 shot on net. And again, it was a physical battle the entire opening period. So in the final minute, it's Bouchard laying a hit on Tkachuk, but gives him a little extra afterward and he gets called. Now, is this a call in the cup final? I don't know, but it's roughing and the Panthers went back to work, with Florida outshooting Edmonton 9-4 in the first. Heading into the middle frame now, it was not a minute in and, you guessed it, another penalty. This time it's Tkachuk called for hooking, and not a lot to this one either, but the second time the Panthers would kill their own power play. Despite that, the Panthers did get off some great looks, but it was Skinner who continued to make some big stops. For the Oilers, though, it wasn't until midway through that they finally got their first shot of the period. So Mikkola decided to help him, nearly scoring on himself, but remembering he needs to shoot the other way, it's Lundell for Mikkola, and he scores! You can't make it up. It's just his second of these playoffs, but he beat Skinner to tie this game up at 1 apiece. And really, the Panthers were just stronger. Panthers outshot the Oilers 13-3 in the middle frame, but not before we got the third tripping call, as it's for Hagee on McDavid this time, and just 14 seconds into that power play, the puck is sent over the glass. It's Stenlund flipping it over and out, as this was a major call in this game. Would we see a 5-on-3? The officials come together and it's deemed no penalty. Looking at it, it leaves his stick after crossing the blue line, so Maurice says, "You got the right call," while Knobloch certainly did not agree. So who's right? I think the Oilers were right here. Yes, it left the stick after crossing the blue line, but contact was initiated on the defensive side of the blue line, which, based on the rule, if contact with the puck occurs while the puck is inside the defending zone and subsequently goes out of play, the minor shall be assessed. This should have been a penalty, but instead it remains a 5-on-4, and while the Oilers were certainly dangerous, finally actually getting some looks, after which immediately it's another penalty. Bouchard this time called for slashing, and another soft call in my opinion. I think the refs were too involved for what is a cup final. But regardless, while they did get a few chances, again, certainly none better than this, as Bennett stopped by Skinner, who played well. With another kill, Edmonton now had 34 straight, as it remained 1-1 after 40. Which, based on this graphic, was good news for Florida. And sure enough, as the third got started, it was just 3 minutes in. Turnover to Rodriguez. He fires it and scores. He beats Skinner, who picks this up late, and just like that, it's now 2-1. From there, a desperate Oilers team picked it up a bit, but were given next to nothing, and so the greasiness came out. We got Draisaitl going up high on Barkov, who went down, which caused a bit of a scrum, leading to Bouchard in a headlock, trying to tap out, which, honestly, it's hilarious, but you gotta let a guy go when he taps. Having said that, Draisaitl starts this by getting his elbow up on Barkov, who would end up leaving for the remainder of this game. The officials would get together, and despite no initial penalty on the play, they do call a minor for roughing on Draisaitl. And I don't think the NHL has the balls to suspend Leon, but this probably deserves a little extra punishment. However, it was another power play, and while it initially looked like another penalty kill, it's Lundell to the middle, and they score. Rodriguez again, back to back. He beat Skinner glove side and gave the Panthers a 2-goal lead late in this game, breaking the Oilers' penalty kill streak in the process. A major goal, and tempers began to flare up a bit as this game went on. McDavid with a shot on Tkachuk here, and after pulling the goalie with 6 to go, kind of ballsy, despite getting another delay of game and a 5-on-3 opportunity with time, the Panthers just gave them nothing. And eventually it's Ekblad for the empty net, which about sealed it. But it wasn't quite over yet. Carrick retaliating here with a nut shot has, just a lot of greasy stuff. With that said, this was as good as over, with the Panthers holding on to take this game 4-1 at home. It's the second straight and historically a huge win. On top of it, they've held McDavid and Draisaitl to just 1 point this series. It's going to be a tough road from here on out for Edmonton, but let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.